welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I know that you're Tim's, which hurts me a little bit to say, Tim's other best friend.
Yeah, there's not really quite a hierarchy, but I'd say I'm top.
Oh, you are?
Well,
that's
no,
nice.
I mean,
yeah.
he's mentioned you a few times, but I don't know if he's put you at number one.
Yeah, I've been trying to really SEO.
But now that he's a co-host, he's probably going to surpass. You're going to surpass me. So
I've been moving it SEO in it. So Tim and Matt best friends is what I've been SEOing right now. Yeah, so
okay. Well,
it's gonna get out there, Tim.
Yeah, that's how it works.
that's fine. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah. My feelings are hurt in the first minute. This probably isn't going to go that well.
The best part about it was that when last week, I think I told you this, but when after we put out our podcast, Tim was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not really your best friend. I'm really my cousin's best friend." I was like, "Tim, I was kidding." It's
Yeah, well, that was the prereq to having him on.
And you're like, all right, well, we're going to take down that podcast then because
we took it down.
Yeah, we did.
Because of that.
yeah, I
That's
figured
why.
as much. I
we
mean,
had to take it down.
You want to start off with a lie.
We got to make sure that we were. So, welcome.
Thank you.
All jokes aside, from what Tim has said, you've got some crazy things you've done. So tell us a little bit about what your experience is.
Well, I mean, what topic do you want to start with? The crazy things I've done, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I would say let's keep
I was going to say,
PG around the business.
who's your audience here?
Yeah,
Because
correct. I don't know
we
who
can
it
keep
is
it-
yet. It's too
yeah.
new.
Well, I've done a lot of interesting stuff
Yeah, yeah.
based on the profession that I'm in.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm sure has mentioned he's the co-owner of what we do.
Yep.
But with the animal stuff from an early age, but especially like in my 20s, I got some really cool opportunities. I lived in Florida, Miami, Florida. And yeah, stuff down there just gets a little wild with animals. And I've had some really cool experiences, opportunities, met some cool people that have really led me into some cool stories and experiences for sure.
Yeah. Did you? When did you say 20s when you started doing that?
Well, so I started doing this on a level like with Tim, kind of more of a hobby when we were young, growing up here. It wasn't until I moved to Florida in Miami that world of exotics, that's like the Mecca.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what to expect because I didn't go down there for that reason. But I had known that when you go down there, that's like alligators. You're like, oh, cool. But then I got down there, I was like, holy shit. I mean, okay, these people really take this to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So I got involved in it more so there. And the opportunities just kind of they springboard you into so many different experiences that were cool. And
So you guys used to do this when you were younger? You didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, what?
and we did do wild. I mean, when we were younger,
You guys
could
like
tell,
the Wild Boys Part 2 when you were little
kinda.
kids?
And when we were younger, we look back, we did stuff that would be considered insane to people here for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, young.
Is that how you got those boots?
No, I mean that's not.
I mean, we were probably on the
That's
most.
not where the boots come from. Certainly.
We were probably on the most wanted list in the Cleveland Metro.
Probably,
Yeah,
right?
there were pictures of us around there going, if you see them, please apprehend as quickly as you can.
Yeah, correct.
We were neck deep in swamps and ponds all over here, catching turtles and stuff. And to the average person, you'd see that and be like, what are these guys doing?
Right.
They're going to come out of that lake with a third arm and miss. But we did that almost every day in the summer for years.
Yeah.
And so it started off kind of like that. And then, like I said, when I moved, I saw more of an opportunity to take it more serious.
What started it down there?
So the story goes, in college here, I played football, and my roommate was from Florida.
Okay.
After a couple of years, we didn't like it. We wanted to go, but he was from South Florida, and he's like, hey, do you want to transfer down to a place called FIU in Miami?
Yep.
I was like, yeah, I'll go to Miami. I couldn't care what the reason was for. Let's go to college in Miami.
Yeah. You went to Florida International?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it is? The Eyes International University, right? Or
FIU?
FIU?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I just don't know.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. It was so long ago. I mean, did I even go to that school? Now that I think about it. But that's what took me down there, and that's what exposed me to all the other animal stuff, the other side of the animal world that I hadn't really known about. And I started volunteering. So I went down there to play football, and when it happened, back then, it's different now, I had a red shirt. I couldn't play right away. So during this time, I was like, well, I'm going to kind of get involved in my free time of this exotic animal world. And I started volunteering at a wildlife refuge where I got my initial experience with, this place had it was a rescue. So they got in alligators, crocs, monkeys, tigers, everything. I kind of got involved with as much as I could with that.
Yeah.
And from there, just the opportunities just came left and right to just stay involved and do alligator shows at this place, snake shows at this place, help with the filming here, do whatever it was. And then from there, I was like, I didn't really have much interest or the passion with football kind of left.
Yeah.
So I just graduated and pursued
That.
the weird stuff.
Where'd you play football up here?
Heidelberg.
Heidelberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a funny story if I went to Heidelberg, but I don't think I could tell on the podcast. But my buddy was getting recruited by them. I went up there with him, and he was a maniac, and he did some dumb stuff in a bathroom and got in trouble. Anyway, but yeah, Heidelberg's a great school. Yeah,
I
And then went to
guess.
FIU.
I mean, yeah. Heidelberg was a good school for a couple of years, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, then FIU, and then I was in college in Miami, Florida. So
I mean, you can't be.
I,
That was my biggest mistake because I could have gone to a couple like smaller schools across the country for football.
yeah, he said you went to Youngstown. Yeah.
Yeah, so I chose them just because me being dumb and liking my friends and all that stuff, I stayed here. That's
Yeah.
my biggest regret is I stayed in this
Yeah.
state too long.
Getting out of here was
Probably
a
great.
great move
Yeah.
from every aspect, and yeah, it served well.
Yeah, Tim did the same thing. You went to Texas, right?
Yeah,
I did.
he
I
did. He waited till after school, which was probably a good move too. I mean, who knows?
Did you go to Heidelberg too?
I
he
did
went-
not. I
well,
did
you
go
know, you-
visit it
you
with
did
him.
go- yeah, you visited,
I
but
was
you
about to say,
weren't.
did you visit?
Yeah.
He wasn't allowed to attend it because it was too flat. We went up there to visit because he played basketball. I don't know if he's told you, he was a hell of a basketball player.
No, he
And he-
doesn't. He doesn't talk about that.
No, well, because now when he talks about it, his body probably hurts.
Yeah, scar
But
tissue.
Scar tissue.
Mental
is-
more
yeah,
so than physical.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit of both.
Where'd you
But
play
he-
basketball at?
We did the same high school track, so St. Ed's 2 years, North Olmsted 2 years.
Oh, so you guys followed each other around?
Yeah, I followed him. He told me where to go. I just said, all right. So, remember, he said best friends. So, but we did go to visit Heidelberg together, potentially him for basketball and me for football. And I mean, the reasons you don't go to certain places are just bizarre. And one of them, I think, was your dad's like, I don't like it out here. It's too flat. Too gusty winds. Gusty winds. And I think we might be exaggerating to a certain point.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
You don't want to go there.
no.
You don't want to go to
Yeah, you don't want to go there. You
Yeah.
see how windy it is up there?
You
But
should go to Miami University.
Close.
Were you by Miami when you were down there or no?
a mile away, mile and a half. Yeah, UM was right by us, and maybe I should have went there. Probably wasn't smart enough, wasn't good enough. Whatever.
That's a wild school
Yeah,
from what I heard. Was FAU?
FIU was.
think? FIU. I keep
Well, it's a
saying
huge commuter school. There's like 50-something thousand people.
it like
went.
that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. So it was a cool experience. The school part of it was you were a number. It wasn't like Heidelberg was 3,000 kids and less than that. So I met some really good people there, but FIU was almost like Ohio State in that way. It's just a huge, in the middle of the city school, commuter. I never lived on campus because I went there as a junior, but it was
Yeah, that's
fine.
when they let
It
you
served its
leave usually.
it served its purpose. I got a degree, I think. I think that was valid. I never went to the ceremony, and they did send me a piece of paper.
That's good.
So that was that. But
And then you got into that really heavy down there.
yeah, because it was. So I did graduate with a degree in criminal justice, and I was like, this is going to be really worth a lot. Do you guys need anybody to wrestle alligators?
That's the number one. That or social. What's it?
Sociology or social work.
Sociology, social work stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Political
a lot of football
science
players,
was doing
political
that, yeah.
science. But that's the number one is criminal justice.
Yeah, and
There's
it was
so
fine.
many criminal
My
justice
dad was a
majors.
policeman, so I kind of just followed in that, thinking maybe there's somewhere. But I never pursued any of it, just because. I mean, the animal aspect of when I was just kept pulling me in. So it's like a passion I've had, and he can attest to that, and just was like, okay.
Did you do any cool things after that one? Did you like go get on?
Well, let me
ahead.
let me squeeze a little more
get a
detail
little
out
more
of his
detail in this.
experience.
I like
so
it.
so kind of like you said, shared hobby of ours growing up, and we certainly spent a lot of time trying to catch stuff. We built out really big collections of all sorts of reptiles and amphibians, snake.
Oh, so you kept them.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
kept
Try
all
to
different.
Bring that up. You just
All different
kidnapped
kinds.
them and you kidnapped them and kept them.
Well, that
Well,
word is an interesting word to use.
it
I
is.
think
You
it's
taped
pretty
their mouths
accurate.
up when you picked them out of the water.
Well, kidnapping is different. Yeah. So yeah, we kidnapped them.
Yeah.
We stole them.
And some of the stuff we purchased.
Yeah.
So we had pretty
Okay.
big purchased pet inventory. So anything
Okay.
from boas, pythons, different kinds of lizards, even alligators, which at one time in Ohio was legal to own without
oh, really?
permit.
you could-
yeah. So we both had alligators growing up at different points in time.
That's crazy.
But when he moved to Florida, things really took that professional track. So if you
Yeah.
would, Mike, share with us in detail some of the some of the unique opportunities, whether it's the crocodile research, kind of how that came about,
did
or
that.
some of your television opportunities. I think that's
Yeah,
I think the audience would
I was
love
on the
to hear
show
about that.
Cops. Always getting
So-
so like they never caught me.
never
I was,
caught you.
no, they never caught me. That was my TV appearance. Well, no, so it was one of the jobs I was getting, or the opportunities there. First, it was the big thing down in Florida is like tourism.
Yeah.
You know, people come down there to go airboat rides, all that stuff, and all these places needed people to do like alligator shows. Like they call it alligator wrestling shows, which is kind of a weird term because it's not really wrestling. But yeah, you're doing the alligator shows, and I started doing that, and I did work. I started working at a place that indirectly became part of a TV show on Animal Planet.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to be a part of that.
So you're on Animal Planet?
Yeah. And it was a show called Gator Boys. It's a long time ago. But it was a cool opportunity.
Show that is.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, you could turn that on and you'll maybe see me. It was cool to be a part of that because that was 12 or 13 years ago, kind of towards the beginning of reality TV.
Yep.
I mean, maybe reality's been around longer than that, but it's towards the beginning. And at that time, everybody was still kind of on the fence of, is reality TV even real, or what is it? Then I really saw how fake it was and how set up it was. But it was a cool experience, cool opportunity to be a part of that.
They make you ever go back and refilm stuff and say,
Oh,
okay,
dude,
now let's go back to that day.
It's just so fake. I always tell people now when they do happen to bring it up, I'm like, if you put me through an episode to watch it, I would just pick it apart, and you would not believe how set up and how fake everything was. I mean, they'd be like, how'd you guys find that gator there? I'm like, well, we actually found it at our park, put a fishing line on his leg, let it go into the pond, and then we just caught it. Pretty simple. And you know that homeowner that opened the door and said, please get this alligator? That was actually the film guy from the crew that we put inside the house and said, yeah, this alligator's been here for months. It won't leave us. It's eating my kids. So that experience was cool. We did a cool documentary on Animal Planet with Crocs because when I was down in Florida, at the one place I started volunteering, I met a good friend of mine who is a professor in Louisiana, but he does a lot of crocodile research in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And he's had me go down with him. I've been fortunate enough to kind of go down and be his, called a field tech, where we just catch crocs all the time to do his research. So that's been going on for maybe 11 or 12 years as well. Every year we go down there. We've caught a lot of crocs, and it's for his research. It's way above my pay grade to tell you what exactly it's about.
And believe it or not, I went down there one
Did
time.
you?
and
Yeah,
caught
so I was
crocs.
gonna get into that, where we've gone on every year, and towards the beginning.
Get saved because you got eaten by a croc.
Well, no, this is the wildest part of all this. Is Tim has always been into this, but he never actually. We used to go. Man, we're really backtracking here too. We used to go on family vacations in Florida.
Yeah.
We would drive down, his dad, my dad, because coincidentally they're like best friends too. So it's all kind of worked out that way. But we would go down to Florida and try to catch, do what we did up here. And at the time, Tim was the wild one. He was the one neck deep in like Florida swamps. I don't think it was just ignorance, or I don't know.
Definitely ignorance.
Yeah. And but where alligators
Definitely.
were. And he'd be out there, I'm like, no, Tim, don't do it. And he's like, oh God. We never ended up catching alligators, but he would be out there. And then the tables kind of turned where years later, I was in Florida
Catching them.
swimming with alligators. And he's like, man, what are you, out of your mind? I'm like, I learned from you. So,
I learned it from watching you.
yeah,
Tim.
what if watching
Well, he didn't learn anything technique-wise from me, but
Yeah.
maybe that there's some people out there ignorant enough and bold enough to just put themselves in.
dive into a swamp in Florida and hope for the best. And
You ever get bit?
yeah, nothing major.
Nothing major.
No, just stuff I deserved.
You just don't pay attention. And
No.
get you.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to connect some of the dots of your experience and working with the animals, some of your TV experience, and to kind of your most recent really.
Well, before we do that, I want to tell you about Tim's trip to Costa Rica.
I want to hear
All
about
right,
it.
all right, all right.
Okay. So at this time, I had probably been down there maybe 4 or 5 times. And Chris, my buddy who did all this, had met Tim a few times, and they hit it off well too. And I think one year I was like, hey, you want Tim to come down? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And leading up to this trip, he broke his hand.
I did.
He broke his hand by, I mean, you could tell him.
All right, there's a more or less a pathetic story behind that one. I was dating my now wife. We were out two-stepping at a two-stepping bar in the Dallas
Oh,
area.
I know. You're
And they
in
had
Dallas.
one of those drop-down punching speed bags you hit for power. I'm trying to
Trying to impress.
peacock a little bit, impress my
Future wife.
my future wife. I hit that thing with everything I had.
Broke your hand.
Just wrong. Broke my scaphoid.
Oh yeah.
Now, I didn't let her know. Rest of the night, I'm spinning her around. It hurt a lot. Next day, it was pretty swollen.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that was like just a few weeks ahead of this planned trip to Costa Rica where I was
you
going to
gotta
be.
go.
Oh, I was in it.
And he went and he dove in. I mean, he was diving on crocs. That was a trip that coincidentally we caught the largest crocodile we've ever captured there, 16 feet 2 inches
Tim caught it.
by himself.
No.
No, but he was one of the, like six of the people who jumped on it.
Yeah.
The group
to
effort. And that
apprehend
really
it.
was
Huge.
an extraordinary experience. Frightening in a lot
It
of
was
ways.
a huge croc, and he was exposed to the way we captured crocs, which was probably a bit mind blowing when we first walked out there. And you're just walking through these in the middle of the night, pitch black, up to maybe your thighs, and just croc infested waters. When you turn your headlamp on, their eyes glow back,
Okay.
and you would turn them on. It was probably 100 crocodiles all just around you,
You're just in the swamp. This,
5 feet away.
Yeah,
from
that's
you.
what I was gonna ask. You know where the crocs are at. I'm assuming.
We don't really know where they're at, but contrary to belief, they really don't want much to do with you. Even the big ones, you start walking towards them in the water, they're gone. So it is still there's a risk, and it's definitely intimidating the first time I did it. But then once you get a kind of a hold of here's how they typically operate, it's not as bad. But when he ran away, he's like, "What the? What are you?"
oh, I
Really?
thought, yeah, at this point, I'm like very much removed from this hobby that we shared growing up.
Yeah, you stopped. He kept
Yeah,
going.
I had moved to
He
Dallas,
was a smart
Texas.
one. He's like,
I'm on this more traditional path at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find myself walking straight into croc-infested waters and
With a broken hand from.
with a
punching.
broken,
With a
hand,
broken hand.
and you're like carrying stuff because I'm like a grunt worker here. I dived on. What a little
That was like a
4-footer.
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 That's nice.
But the craziest thing to see from my perspective is we're walking into that swamp. We get further in, the crocodiles are shifting around you because they are, as he described, they're looking to move away from you.
Yep.
But in turn, as we get more towards the center of the swamp, now there's crocodiles behind us, to the left of us, right in front of us. So they're just kind of just shifting around the swamp, kind of making way for us to go wherever we're going to go.
Yeah, kind of like figuring out like what are these big oafs doing
Yeah.
walking around this water.
But
They're like, what are they doing?
But that's when I thought, I don't know why I agreed to do this.
You're probably just second guessing.
Like I work in a cubicle in Dallas, Texas. I
But
shouldn't
that
be
that
here.
was his cubicle that night. But he did well. I mean, he did perfectly fine. He was catching with a broken hand, catching crocs, jumping on crocs. So don't let him fool you about he's just this
listen,
office guy that can
pretends. He pretends real well until he
wheel
shows
and
up
deal
with
money,
the
this
boots.
and that. If he gets put in the thick of things, he'll
can
jump
get
on a croc.
He'll get a croc.
Yeah, he'll get a croc if he needs to. so that and then Costa Rica's been
I can't wait to tell everybody
Great.
about how you catch crocs. I'm excited.
yeah. Before you introduce him to people, he can manage money. Be like before I tell you about this guy, he catches crocodiles.
You didn't put that in your BNI presentation that you catch crocs?
I might have.
I don't think you did.
I may not have.
You can make an amendment. You just add it in there.
Yeah.
We'll add it in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next time I introduce you.
Yeah, no, that was pretty neat. Now, if I could, I kind of want to backstep to your comment about reality TV and it being staged. Some of the stuff you can't stage. And I know, for instance, in Gator Boys, the episode which you got the most play was one in which you were featured as an expert snake handler, and in particular, venomous snakes.
Yeah.
Which then, if you would, kind of describe a little bit of that in your background in working with venomous snakes, and also how it then opened up a door to a really interesting and just extraordinary experience by way of, I'll let you fill in the blanks as to who you worked with there.
Oh, okay. So one of the things I was, the venomous snake aspect down in Florida, I had no experience with venomous snakes here. Never really exposed to it either. But down there, again, one of those things that was very big. Place I was volunteering, there was a really nice snake collection that this guy ran, and just took an interest in like, hey, can I help out with this? Can I start cleaning cages, whatever you need me to do? So that just snowballed into me being more and more interested, wanting to own them, and kind of getting more involved with that aspect. So, and then one of the specialties of that, I was like really just honed into cobras, like big king cobras. I just loved, and it was. I don't know what it was about. I mean, actually, I do know what it was about them, but it was just one of those things. I said, okay, I like them all, but these 15-foot cobras are the coolest things in the world. So I kind of stuck with that, and over the years, I had kept a lot of cobra, like venomous snakes, and as of most recent, a couple of years ago, I assume that's what you're leading into.
Yeah, well, First, I'll just go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
The show you were featured as kind of the show you were featured on Gator Boys, it was displaying your skill set, working with venomous snakes.
Yeah,
which,
okay, yeah.
Which it is that reputation that then opened up the door
Yeah,
for this other
so
opportunity.
my involvement in that show was more so like, if there was a snake call,
You ran.
I ran out there. I'd pack up the snake from my house. I'd get out to that restaurant and drop it in the middle. Oh my gosh, how did this snake get here? I guess I'm here. I should grab it. So I was the guy. A lot of the snake things would be I'd be involved in for that show. Did some alligator stuff too.
Yep.
But then that expertise I just kept going with it. I don't even want to say expertise, but my passion for the venomous snakes, and then so that's what we're leading into with David.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you might as well tell
Yeah.
them
So
about
then
that.
one of the coolest, most unique opportunities that I'm most thankful for in this specific aspect was a couple of years ago. I got a call from one of my friends that did a lot of work with in Florida. He was involved in all the gators and stuff, and he had worked years back with David Blaine, the magician.
Yep.
And he had gone to Vegas with him for one of his shows to do something with an alligator. I don't know the exact details of it, but a couple of years ago, my friend called me and said, "Hey, David Blaine called me. And he said, hey, I want to kiss a king cobra. Do you know who can teach me?" And my buddy was like, "I do know who could teach you. So let me call him." So he called me. He's like, "So this is going to sound wild, but there's a new show coming out on, I think it was National Geographic, where David Blaine's traveling the world. He wants to do a bunch of stuff that not many people can do. And one of the things he wants to kiss a cobra." And me, I was just like, okay, this is probably a liability. But I was like, I don't got much going on. Sure, let's do it. So I said, yeah, I guess we can figure something out. So then they all called, like David Blaine and someone else called me and Skyped with me, or I forget what it was. I was like, "Hey, is this possible?" Like, yeah, it's possible. It's probably not very smart, but it's possible. But this guy, if you know much about him, he's a pretty interesting guy that will push anything to the limits.
That's why I don't know him, or I do about him, but that's what I've seen. He's like pushes stuff.
He pushes stuff. He's one of the most interesting people I've
held his breath forever.
Yeah, like fasted, all this stuff he does.
Forever. He does crazy stuff.
He was really, really a cool, interesting guy. So all of a sudden, that was the plan. I was like, okay, so let's travel. So he traveled to our shop.
Yep.
Started working with the animal, like the snakes, and kind of getting a feel for it all. And then all of this was taking place in Thailand. So we all flew to Thailand to film it.
Okay.
And get it all done. And it worked. I mean, you can the thing's out on National Geographic, and he legitimately kissed a king cobra. And he was an awesome guy to work with, really cool. But that would be an experience that I would look back and be like, man, that's pretty wild, pretty cool to have had that opportunity. And there's been a few other things, but that sticks out to the top. It'd be like, man, they called me to be like, this guy who has no experience wants to try to kiss a cobra.
That's pretty cool, though. They looked at you as the expert.
Yeah, well, it could be the expert or the idiot who was willing to try. Maybe they called other people. Like, I'm not
doing that.
They're like, that's stupid.
Sure,
This
I'll
guy,
try.
this famous magician could just die in front of you, and this is going to be on you. I'm like,
Yeah, how long does it take to die if it would have bit him?
it all depends. I mean,
They're pretty venomous.
So king cobras are the most dangerous venomous snake in the world.
Yep.
They get so big, and like if they were to bite you, it would be, especially the ones we were working with, ones that are probably like 13 feet, 14 feet. They were huge. And that amount of venom, if it gets you,
I'd say it's a ton of venom, right?
you don't have much time. You know, if you got caught in the vein, or if you had like an allergic reaction, it'd be minutes at best. But if not, maybe a few hours. I don't know. It's hard to say. It'd be bad.
Everybody's different, right?
Yeah, everyone's different, but it'd be bad. You just don't want it to happen. So, so it did end up working out well. It was he was so cool to work with, and that was definitely an experience that I'll mark up as one of the coolest.
Yeah, that's cool.
In this field.
How long did you stay in Thailand and film?
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah, Thailand's a wild. It's a wild place
I
too.
heard Thailand's a little wild.
Yeah, Thailand is something. I'll tell you. Probably.
Have you been all over, or just mostly just?
So no, I haven't been all over. Costa Rica, I've been to a lot, maybe 25 times now. Other than that, Thailand, and that might be it. Like
Is Costa Rica? Is there a lot of wildlife out there? Like
Yeah.
more than there is here, of course.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would say more. I mean, probably more, but just more diverse.
Yeah, more diverse.
All the rainforest and stuff, and like we go there for crocodiles because that's where there's tons of them. There's some in South Florida here, but wildlife there is awesome. Beautiful place in general. I love Costa Rica.
Anacondas out there or anything?
They're farther south.
That's what I
but
figured.
Yeah, they're in South America, but
Yeah.
they're there. They're in South America. Those would be. I've never been that far south and got to see those. But Costa Rica's got awesome wildlife, awesome people. If you've never been, that's like probably my highest recommended visit to anybody. To be like, hey, it's such a cool place.
That's cool. And then after that, how long did you stay in Florida for?
Well, after
How long when you moved down there? How long were you down there?
I was in Florida for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just stuck with it. And I love Florida. I love Miami. I just like warm weather.
Everybody does that, right?
Warm weather and animals is what attracted me to that. Short of that, whatever. But
Warm weather is nice.
warm weather's just nice. And
It's
some
so
people,
much
some people like.
I think
both.
we're all in agreement.
Yeah,
3 at this table will
Yeah, I
go.
would agree.
We're gonna check the box for warm weather.
Warm weather for sure.
yeah. And I've met plenty of people like, oh, the winter's here, not so bad. Like maybe for you, I don't know, not for me.
I agree.
Not for
I'd rather be sweating in July than
100%.
in the snow in
Yeah, yeah. So
December.
wasn't for my wife, I'd probably still be in Florida.
You came back this way?
Yeah, because she had moved down there midway through when I was there, and then at the end she said, "We're going home." I'm like, "Do you hate me?"
She's
don't
from
you?
up here, and
She's from up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you meet her up here first, and then?
Yeah, we all went to high school together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went there, and after maybe 4 or 5 years, she went to Bowling Green. She transferred. She went down there, lived down there, and that for a while, kind of forced that hand to come back. And I was like,
Tim in Dallas, he came back too
I know.
because you came back.
It
He's
was.
like, I got to come back because my cousin came
Yeah.
back.
He's like, my future wife's back there.
I can't
It's
admit
me.
that on this podcast because my wife has often said, "You came back up here because Mike was here." I'm like, that's not the only reason.
I know. And when my wife told me we're moving back, I was like, I don't know. I called Tim. I was like, dude, is there any chance you're gonna go back?
Is you gonna go back too?
He's like, it's a possibility. I'm like, okay, let's go. Okay, this is maybe.
That's how you made it.
But that's why we're also
Yeah.
also running the business that we're running too. It's
Yeah,
all
so
weird
that
how
leads
it,
into the business.
all,
That's a
uh,
great question.
Yeah.
When did you start that? Did you guys start that? How long ago?
almost 10 years.
If you want to tell everybody like the name of your business. And all
Yeah, so we own Sat2 Reptiles and Aquatics, Parma, Ohio, and it's a pet store dedicated to exotics.
that. Okay.
But we also do a lot of educational stuff too. But yeah, it was 10 years ago we started that, and it only happened because he moved back. Because I was here already. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing landscaping and spray foam and I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was doing
Trying
anything I
stuff.
could. Yeah, I moved back, and really it's kind of funny.
Can't catch crocs up.
No,
No,
you
you
can't. I was forced to move back. I was forced to move back to not really have a job. So
Right, yeah. No
but
king cobras or alligators up here to go catch.
no, but I did bring them all back with me.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was like, well, I'm bringing a part of Florida back, which I was allowed to.
Right, right.
I don't know, it wasn't like a vigilante, like, oh, let's keep these. It was permitting and all that stuff. But
Yeah, correct.
but yeah, so I was doing that. Then he moved back, and I kind of told him this idea. I don't even really know exactly how it.
Yeah, so I would say it was his professional dilemma. He had all this experience in the world of animals and his, specific niche. There wasn't a ton of opportunity in the greater Cleveland area to continue on that path. So when I got back, he throws this idea out. And seeing as we are tight and thick as thieves, and I knew where he was not where he wanted to be professionally. I also had an itch to start a business. He said, I'm thinking about starting a pet store. I said, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll help you out as much as I can. And I think within a 2-week period, he's like, I need you 50-50. We shook on it, and the rest is history.
That's pretty
We
cool,
just
though.
built it out from there.
So like, you guys got like just exotic animals for sale in there? Do you have to? Can you order out if you have them in the store?
Yeah, I mean, we bring in a ton of stuff. But yeah, so we can bring stuff in.
That's what I'm about to ask. Like, so
Yeah,
if you don't
so-
have it inside,
Well, we
and
do.
You want a specific animal?
So
can
we
you go to
have
your
a bunch
store?
of stuff, but if someone wants something specific, we made a lot of good connections,
Connections, yeah.
through. We can bring in from other countries. We can bring in from a different breeder or supplier. So there's not much that we can't get our hands on from live animal standpoint. That's legal, of course.
Legal, of course. Yeah.
And then of course, like all the other stuff, the supply, yeah, legal, of course.
Legal,
Is this-
of course.
Is this thing gonna go?
Wink,
Is
wink.
this thing gonna go live? Who's listening to this out there? But and then all the enclosures, the food, like everything is that. And then we also have some really cool displays, almost zoo-like, where you come in and you get to see some cool stuff that you wouldn't even be able to see at the zoo. So the experience is kind of top tier, in addition to offering the services of like selling, exotic wildlife.
Exotic. And you do education. You bring people in. Show them
We
how-
bring people in to do like demonstrations. We'll go out and do like libraries and schools and birthday parties. And again, just the experience inside, you can learn a lot by seeing some of the animals. So couple different facets of it that would make it more than just kind of a pet store.
That's awesome.
Like a credit to his experience and in respect to your question about the kind of stuff we bring in, some of our customers are zoos. So they look to us as a resource to help supply what, people who attend those zoos get to see.
Good to see, yeah.
This is all credit to his experience. So without his experience, our offerings would be much more narrow. We wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's twofold. One is the connections to be able to bring it in, which he brought some of that. Then we've established new connections as a business.
Yeah.
But it's also his ability to work with a lot of these different types of animals.
pretty cool.
I mean, some of these things are pretty intimidating to work with.
Yeah, I bet.
You
You
have
don't
to
know how to
have
work with them.
you have to have the
You're in
background.
trouble.
Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in a pickle over and over again.
You got axolotls there? Because that's what I got to get here soon.
Yeah, we do, and that's like
That's what I was going to say.
That's such a popular.
It is.
My daughter is absolutely.
Kids love it. Well, I think
Loves 'em.
it's part of. Became popular with, was it Minecraft?
Yeah.
Was that it?
That's exactly.
And all the kids saw it in Minecraft, like, oh, what is this? And then we have them, and people just love them. Kids, especially kids, and
That's what I told my daughter. I said, Tim from B&I, he's got a pet store. We'll go there and learn how to take care of the axolotl if you want.
yeah, that is a huge seller as of recent, and I think it's because of
Yeah.
the Minecraft game.
It really is. My daughter's
Yeah.
7. She's just like all about axolotls.
Yeah.
She's going to be axolotl for
Halloween.
Halloween. She's got axolotl stuff all over the place.
Oh.
She wants an axolotl for Christmas.
They are popular.
Yeah, so
They are
that's
popular.
exactly it. So I have a lot of people buying those. What's your most popular thing you say right now that you're selling a lot of?
Man, that's such a good question. We get asked a lot. And popular, it's so weird because we have we have a large presence online
Yeah,
and then in
that's
store.
tough, yeah.
So it's two completely different things where what's popular online isn't popular in store for the most part, and then vice versa.
What's your online website? So
Sat2reptilesandaquatics.com.
okay.
And that's like a full website. You can see everything we have, buy all that
Buy
stuff.
online.
Yeah, because it's cool now with technology. We can have an animal and ship it to you across the country overnight. And it's, a lot of people don't realize, like, oh, I can just order this and you guys can have it at my doorstep the next day.
Yep.
It's pretty cool how that works out. But in store, like like bearded dragons, if you're familiar with those, the
Yeah.
geckos, all that stuff is just really, really popular because they're such good pets. So a lot of families come in and get those for their kids. And then the online stuff is more the unique, wild stuff because your audience is so much larger when you can ship throughout the whole U.S. So you kind of sell the more unique, different stuff online.
Yeah, I seen that people are illegally creating. Is it gecko farms by getting 2 of them and then having them mate and then creating this land and there's like people shooting each other over it because kids are coming on there and thinking they can just go.
Probably, who knows? I mean,
Not geckos. It's
That sounded funny. That sounded like some iteration of like Minecraft.
It's the one.
I
No,
know,
it's
I
the
know.
one
Is
where
this an iPad game?
chameleons. So there's chameleon farms. People are getting chameleons. They're mating them on their land, and they're just you mate 2 chameleons, and it makes 10 chameleons and 50 chameleons, and then they walk away and come back, and they have all this land with all these chameleons on it, and kids are coming on the land, and people are coming on the land thinking, oh, I found a chameleon, and these dudes are like,
well, so to go back to Florida, that's happening in Florida.
yeah,
It's not even really planned necessarily because in Florida, the exotic world is or used to be so much more like the Wild West.
yep,
People would buy stuff, let stuff go. The huge importers are down there where animals would just get out. And now in Florida, there's a huge population of non-native stuff that's not supposed to be there.
that's a big
One of them is chameleons. And there's chameleons breeding on people's properties in the hundreds. And people are going there to catch them. But it's on people like private property.
yeah.
So
people
they are getting
pissed.
they're getting pissed and they're getting
shot
shot
at. That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
So wasn't
what I
really a
heard.
planned, like, let's go let these go, have
Yeah.
a breed and come back. It's just happening by chance,
Accidentally.
but they're finding out where these are, like these kids who are either trying to collect them or now like social media influencers know where
Yeah.
they are and they want to film it. But they're getting ran off by shotguns. And stuff. People are like, get the hell off my property! I don't want you here in my tree catching these lizards.
That's what I heard.
But there's, everything
getting
now.
crazy.
It is down there. You can catch. I mean, when I was there, we were catching like these big pythons that are
Really? Not native to the area?
no, there's huge like Burmese pythons. They're 15, 16 footers crossing the roads in the Everglades, and it's awesome for people like us who like them. But
Yeah.
I guess they're a nuisance, you could say,
Yeah, for
to
sure
the people
they
who
are.
don't want them.
People don't want 'em.
But you'll find some wild stuff down there. There's monkeys
Oh, really?
in the
Just
wild.
got
now.
out.
Got out from like labs and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, where they do testing and all that stuff. And now there's populations of monkeys throughout Florida where you just find monkeys in the wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that more south? It gets a little bit more
Yeah.
diverse.
Yeah, because that climate there is so acceptable to so many different animals from throughout the world, like the tropical stuff.
tropical
When you get to like Central Florida, it gets a little cooler. Some of the stuff can't quite survive.
Yeah.
But South Florida is like a breeding ground for anything. You let stuff out there, it's just going to live.
Yeah. Now down there, is there a big, like, people are looking to buy those animals, or is that just, just
They're looking all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I would say South Florida is more so the breeding ground for the importers and the sellers. There's
yeah.
plenty of people who own stuff down there too, but that's so good because of the climate. People keep stuff outside,
Yeah.
so you can bring in a lot more stuff, keep it outside, which is better for a lot of the animals.
Yeah.
So that's a huge. I guess I'd call it the port.
I was
where
about
stuff
to ask you
comes
that. There's
in,
a lot
and then
of it
it's like
coming through
distributed
there,
out.
and then it
Yeah.
distributes out from there.
Yeah, but there's a ton of people who own stuff down there too.
Yeah. You figure down there it's a little bit easier, like you said, to keep them.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to put.
I mean, people just keep stuff outside year round, and like just breeding, keeping, all of it's just easier when you have land, and you're like, oh, this stuff will just build a pond, keep it out there, and go from there.
Do a lot of the suppliers come from out there? Or?
Yeah, a lot do.
A lot do.
Yeah, there's most big suppliers will come from warmer areas because of that reason.
Yeah.
Texas, Florida, like southeastern U.S., sometimes out in California, but here it's tougher because the weather.
The weather, yeah.
You only have a certain amount of space to keep certain things for a certain amount of time.
What do the zoos do? Do they ship them out, or they store them in controlled weather or controlled environment?
It's all indoors for the most part. Anything that's outdoors, they'd bring them in because their places are huge.
Yeah.
So they can provide huge ponds or enclosures that'll house, 10, 12-foot alligators and crocodiles throughout the winter. So they just have the means to do it.
And they come to you for like crocodiles and for
Anything? No, they'll even come to us for pretty basic stuff. If they're doing, they want to grow out their educational part. They'll be like, hey, can we buy some bearded dragons so our zookeepers can handle them and do all that? Then they'll come to us for the more unique, rare stuff too. So we've sold to quite a few zoos, and we've sold some really cool, unique, different things, and then even just normal boas and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
But,
you guys have a lot of like spiders or anything like that? in
We
the store?
do. I hate
A lot of
them.
people buy them.
People love that
I was
stuff.
about to say people love spiders.
That stuff, and that is not that's not our area of interest as much as we.
agree.
It's a good part of the business, but I don't like
like
spiders.
spiders,
I don't
yeah.
like cockroaches.
What
I
about
don't
you?
like-
You a spider fan?
No, I probably
He
have.
can handle it better than I do.
Yeah, probably a little better, but I'm not in the business day to day anymore, so I'm certainly
Yeah.
irrelevant in this regard. But we've always had key people who manage that part of it. Because for a guy who will interact with a king cobra,
You don't like the spider.
I don't like.
he
them.
doesn't like a spider.
don't
So
like
a scorpion, a centipede, you
No.
name
Oh,
it.
scorpions! You guys got scorpions too?
All this sort of
Oh,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which was a problem when we went to Costa Rica because where we stay in Costa Rica was like out in the middle of a nowhere type of biological station, and in your rooms it's just scorpions, spiders. You have to sleep with a net over you.
Yep.
And I mean, in the rooms, it's just all that stuff. So the only way to go to sleep is alcohol. Just drinking yourself till you pass out. Yeah.
Do a lot of people get like bit out there, or not bit? I guess stung by scorpions, or
Yeah,
bit
and
by
the ones
spiders?
out there specifically aren't going to do too much
they
to
don't-
you.
right.
But it's still just spooky.
It's the ones that are more like in Australia that are more poisonous. Is that what it is? Or is
So there are, out there they're bad, but there's scorpions in the U.S. that can really pack a punch.
Okay.
We're in different parts of South and Central America as well, but where we specifically are, the ones there just aren't that bad.
it ain't that bad?
Luckily.
Yeah, I've seen some videos where they'll let some of them sting them. Or
Yeah,
some
and it's like a
of
bee sting.
Yeah.
It's really not too bad, but there are some that could really put a hurting on you. But when you're out there and that, it's just the bugs
spider
are bad.
bites are crazy too. I can only imagine if you woke up with a big spider on you.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
I mean there's
That would drive me. I would never be able to sleep again.
the roaches there, which my worst fear is
Roaches
the
gotta
roaches.
be
They're probably
huge.
they're like this, they're like the size of a small
They
cell
hiss.
phone. Yeah, they make noise. They fly. They do all this stuff, and the tarantulas are big.
Yeah, the tarantulas got to be pretty big. Out
Yeah, everything's the bugs are just. I don't like them. They creep me out. So
there. Yeah.
that's a battle I've always had when I go out there. But I've gotten used to it over the
You
years.
get bit up, or they just bother you?
They just bother you.
that's
Yeah,
what
you
I
got to really do a lot. Like you got to
Like that.
step on one or lay on one to really.
bite
They don't
you.
they don't bother you too much.
Because most of the spiders, they're not coming to bite you.
Nah, nothing is. All that people are, they go down there like, oh, am I going to get attacked by a jaguar or something? Like, no, this stuff
Yeah,
does.
they don't want you.
Nothing wants anything to do with you. Like you said, when you go into these areas with the crocs, they're
Yep.
moving away from you.
Yep.
It takes a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I heard. It takes a lot for a
people
crocodile.
have been unfortunately attacked and killed by crocs down there, but they're usually asking for it by doing just stupid shit.
Is it the crocodile or the alligator that's more aggressive?
Neither one is more aggressive. I would say a crocodile's more defensive. And crocodiles get bigger to potentially see a human more as a food source, which is what it's all about. But like both of them want nothing to do with you. Both want to get away from you. If you go swimming in these areas or you're feeding them, kind of like all bets are off.
Yep.
But naturally, none of them want anything to do with you. Out in Australia, when the crocs get 18 feet, they could see a person as a food source, and that's when kind of accidents happen.
Yep.
But in general, all that stuff is just a misconception. They want nothing to do with you.
The alligators and crocodiles commingle in areas? Or
Only in Florida.
Okay.
Only in South Florida you see them both naturally living together. Only place in the world.
Yep.
Everywhere else,
That's what I heard.
it's mainly crocodiles, and just the gators are found here and then in China. There's actually a species of alligator, but South Florida you can see both gators and crocs living together, which is cool and unique. But that's the only place.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that it's in U.S. is like one of the
Yeah,
only places.
it's really cool.
Which is really cool. But yeah, so then you come up here and you guys start the pet store.
Yeah.
You guys have had that for a minute now.
We
10
have-
years almost, right?
Almost,
Yeah. This year will be 10 years, and it's been a while. It's been cool. I mean, I've always pictured myself working with animals, and this is just a way up here for sure to kind of, because when I first moved back, I didn't know, I couldn't work at the zoo. Like I tried, but it was a lot of, with zoos is like bureaucracy. And
I was about to say, isn't it like, it's not like you're working with the animals, you're more like cleaning.
yeah, you're cleaning and stuff. And I couldn't even get an interview there. Even with the resume I had, it was just, it's all internal. It's just different. And I tried, and I was like, well, any other job I can get by. But I was kind of in the mindset of like, I want to be one of those guys who just kind of pursues the passion and stick with what I enjoy and what I know. And with the help of Tim, it was possible. And I always knew like we both brought so much to the table with business in general. And he was, the business side of it, thankfully. And then obviously he branched off and did his stuff, but it's still like, still just a good enjoyable business to be in. And,
If you guys did like a croc pen, you'd have to have specific licenses up here, wouldn't you? Like, if you
yeah, which we do. We, in our shop now, we have an alligator and crocodile on display. They're good size, like 5-6 feet. But there's a lot of red tape. It's permits, it's insurance.
Right.
And there's maybe a handful of people in the whole state that have the permit to do what we do. So we're fortunate that way to be able to provide that experience, because without the permit, you would be kind of handcuffed.
Down in Florida, is it easier to get that permit? Is that why there's
Harder.
more of those?
Well, now it's changed. When I was there, they had a permitting process that was very just straightforward and realistic. It was like, prove you know what you're doing, prove you can keep them safely and blah, 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 and you'd be good. Now it's changed. It's much harder. Down there, they don't want you to keep this stuff privately anymore, so they make you jump through a lot more hoops in order to own. Up here, it's not easy either, but it's doable when you kind of know the system well. And so we've gone through all that.
Is that because of the tiger stuff? Is why they
It
changed
is.
some of the rules? That's what I heard.
Yeah,
too.
pre
I heard that
2014
caused
maybe.
a lot of issues.
Yeah, it was the Wild West up here. You could own anything from an alligator to a tiger without any permits for the most part.
That
Then
is
that
crazy.
happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There was tight. That's why they had all the croc shows and all the tiger
Tigers,
shows
bears.
and tiger stuff, and you could just have them out. You could
In
go to the
Ohio,
zoo.
you could go. There used to be a big auction in Ohio before all this happened, and you could go there on a monthly basis and buy a tiger cub. You could buy a bear cub and just have it. No holds barred.
There
And
was
now
one up
it's.
the street from me in Columbia Station where the guy died.
Oh, I
It was
remember.
a while ago.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
All of his animals got out.
on Columbia Road, wasn't
Yep,
it?
yep.
Yeah, I remember
he died
that.
and all his animals got out. It was a big mess.
Well, I think one of his keepers, I believe, got attacked too, or maybe or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that story, and that was all fair game back then. Now it's flipped, where it's very difficult to own this stuff. Definitely about it, but even getting the permit,
yeah.
I think the only reason I was able to get it was because of my experience in Florida.
Yep.
That resume to have to do that. There's a few other people in the state that have it, but not many.
That's awesome. Would you have the ability, like they have down there, like where they have a croc show, where it's like, you can, where you watch people, and then
Yeah, we
it'd just be
could.
tough because of the weather, right?
It would be, yeah, the space needed to do that. Technically, we could do it, but you would need a larger area to do it. And that type of interaction now is not, it's kind of not something I really want to do.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, back in the day, those my cowboy days.
Let's
I'd
say
be
that's what you did in the day, right?
yeah, like it was, before kids and stuff, I'd be like, okay, I'll put my head in an alligator's mouth. I don't care. Let's,
Those shows are wild.
yeah. And that was cool.
And he was putting them on.
yeah,
know.
and I loved it. It was great. Then I don't see a scenario in which I would even have a desire to do that anymore.
Yep.
I mean, who knows? But yeah, I guess if I presented myself, I didn't think I'd be doing the Cobra stuff as hands-on and close as I was until that opportunity with David Blaine came up. I was like, oh, maybe I can still do it. So who knows? But we don't really have the facilities to do that true
You'd have to.
show. And yeah, again, like jumping on an alligator, do that stuff now doesn't quite serve the purpose as it used to, and it's not a great look. You don't.
It really isn't.
Yeah,
No, I agree.
it's like you don't want to be needlessly jumping on an alligator. Be like, hey, check out its teeth.
Check out
See
its
what
teeth.
yeah, like you
Just abusing the
it
poor
still
thing.
it still exists down in Florida. That's like it's been going on for years there. And that was tourism. That was the way of like the Seminole tribe we used to do it.
Yep.
And there was some heritage and staples of how they did stuff. So it kind of made more sense on there. But even they're kind of moving away from it down there because of all that stuff, which I agree with.
Yeah, because you're just abusing them.
You just don't need to do
That's
it.
like the Tiger King when they were
Yeah.
watching that, and you're like, these poor tigers.
I know. Yeah. And you kind of evolve and mature when you're, again, back when I was younger, all that stuff was cool. Like I wanted to find the biggest, meanest, whatever, and
Wrestle it.
and get into it. Yeah. And now it's changed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing that stuff anymore. And again, even people down there now have shifted away from that because of that reason. Like, it's not great for the alligators. And
You brought up the Seminoles. I was watching a thing. It was a little while ago where they said that the Seminoles have an issue, or did at the time, getting their kids to go to school because they had all that money from the casinos.
yeah,
And they would literally never go to school because once they turned 18, they
got
started
money.
getting like $8,000 a
Yep,
month,
yeah.
which is probably like $15,000 a month. Of
no, they. I mean, I can't speak in detail, but a lot of them, once you turn 18, you get a
Good
pretty
amount of
big
money.
check from
Yeah,
the government
yeah.
every month.
Yeah, and the more
it's-
money your tribe makes, the more money you get.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact.
No, I don't know the details, but I was around. That was a huge part of like the alligator stuff was the tribes and Seminoles.
Yep.
They did a lot of that stuff too. So I knew a lot of those guys, and it would. That was true. As soon as you turned 18, you got well taken care of from the government, and it caused a lot of problems because drugs, alcohol. They just got into a lot of. They didn't have
Just
to
get a
work.
check every month, right?
They didn't have to
Be
work.
tough, yeah.
But that was a wild thing when I learned that. I was like, I should have been a Seminole.
Did you ever work on any of their properties or anything? like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Well, the Hard Rock Casino is on
Yep.
Seminole land.
Yep.
And they did alligator shows there inside the casino, and they had a little zoo exhibit. And then there was festivals that I worked with, some people to do shows with on Seminole land and stuff. So I there was some good. I met some cool people that did all that, and
cool.
some
Yeah.
of those guys.
Yep. So now you're up here. Now you guys are selling animals, exotic pets. What do you say is the goal for your business if you're thinking about the futures? Is it just
It's hard to say with the. I mean, yeah, to exist.
To exist. To that comment, the tricky part about our business
Yep.
is it's retail first,
Yeah.
but our inventory, a lot of it is alive. So it's very time and care intensive
Yeah.
to keep our
That's what I
inventory
was gonna say.
in.
You got to pay for
It's
it.
And-
different. It's very
Yeah.
different than any business in general. I mean, I compared almost maybe like to the food business. Like if you buy a bunch of food, it goes bad. You're like, well, we just wasted all.
You
you
just
like,
lost
you
that
gotta-
inventory.
Yeah, you
makes
can lose inventory. Whereas you're selling a product, it can sit on your shelf for 5 years. And you're like, well, it's still the same product. Maybe people don't want it, but we can do something with it. So the biggest challenge is, when you're dealing with live inventory, you then worry about employees. Well, are they competent? Are they responsible enough to help us kind of grow it in a certain way where you got to learn how to take care of them and care enough? And that's been employees have been a challenge, over the years.
Over the years, we got a good group now.
right now we have a
You've said it to me a number of times.
We've had a really good group now, but that's been a big challenge over the years is finding the right guys, the right people, guys and girls, to help do it. Because the unfortunate part is there's a lot of avenues in our business, revenue streams, whatever you want to call it, and you have to delegate. There's no way you can't. I mean, Tim and I started off maybe the first year plus, we were working 7 days a week, every day. And eventually you get to the point where like, this is not sustainable.
Right.
It's just
Right.
not,
You can't do
so
all
we
that,
slowly brought in more people. We brought in some good guys, and then you get a little bit bigger, bring in more stuff, and you inevitably have to kind of find the right people. And it's hit and miss, We've had some great employees. We've had some bad ones, which is, I think, normal in
it's
business. It's not like we're unique in that sense, but
everybody has.
But they're it feels like there's more at stake because it's live animals.
yeah.
I was about
you
to
know.
say because you see the actual proof of their bad job.
Yeah,
because the
and
animal dies. or-
which is sad. Like you don't
Yeah,
bring
you
these
don't wanna
things
see
in, whether
this.
you're bringing them in from, you're breeding them or you're bringing them somewhere else. You're like, these, you
your
have to care for
animals.
them.
Care
They're
for them,
alive,
right.
they're live things that need to be well taken care of and hopefully go to a home to live a good, long life. So that's why you put a lot of trust into employees to do what you teach them and what they're told to do.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you, like I said, it's hit and miss. Whether you get the right guys who you can trust to do it, which overall we've done pretty well, but we just had guys and girls that just didn't work out.
Yeah, they just, yeah. So now with that stuff, do they have like a downline they're responsible for, or is it just they just all share in the ownership of?
It all depends. There's some that came in with specialties,
That's what I was about to
you know,
ask.
that like, oh, they're into this, let's do that. Other ones are just generalists that just are into that. And you teach them like, hey, here's how the routine of the day goes with cleaning, feeding, et cetera. So it can vary from employee to employee.
Yeah, and then with the animals, what's usually the average carrying of an animal? How long do you carry it for?
That'll vary
Boy,
too.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
there's some stuff that can be blown out of that shop within days. Other stuff will sit around for a little bit longer, depending on so many different factors. Whether it could be, you know, price, it could be, you know, permitting. You know, can people own these or this and that? So a lot of things, a lot of variables go into the demand
Yeah.
for an animal, and that also changes from year to year almost. You know, some of the biggest challenges would be one thing is hot now, it's not hot the next day or down the line. So you always have to be able to adjust and change your train of thought with what works at certain times may not work at a different time. It may circle back to be, again, you know, valuable to whatever the business might be doing that time. So you always kind of got to stay fluid.
The trends, are they similar nationwide, or is it more like Cleveland's trends are this? Florida's
I don't
trends
know.
are
What do you
this?
think?
I would kind of think it's nationwide.
Probably nationwide.
There's really
Yeah, 'cause
big
I'm
shifts.
assuming axolotls are crazy everywhere.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's and yeah, and then there's, but it shifts. It shifts from year to year. And Tim, like, you know, as he kind of ventured off slightly more, he'll even ask me, like, is this still selling like this? And I'm like, no, actually, people aren't really interested in this. And he's like, well, that's crazy. A year ago, we couldn't keep these in stock.
Yep.
So it just changes. So you kind of got to stay fluid with,
Yeah, you got to stay on top.
and it's
of it.
it's a mixture of the economy, just with what's trending.
That was
so
gonna
a lot
be one
of
of my
fact-
next costs. Are you guys get hit with it when the economy does make an adjustment, or are you guys kind of still just people?
I
If they
think-
want it, they want it, no matter what.
I think that's middle of the road. You know, I think the economy does play a role, but when people want this stuff, they want it.
Yeah, it's
and they'll
true.
prioritize it
And they'll-
because
yeah.
it's pets, because people really enjoy it. And in our business, it's much like any kind of collector's industry or
Yep.
little niche pocket. People will put the money to
Yeah.
work into something that fuels something they really enjoy.
Yeah.
So they said there's a lipstick test that they do, or a lipstick report. So if the economy's going south and it's bad, more lipstick gets purchased because people, instead of making large purchases that are expensive purchases, they make smaller, cheap luxury purchases, which are like high-end lipsticks. So high-end lipsticks go through the roof when the economy's going the opposite direction. So like, do you
Check out the lipstick stuff.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Okay, hold on.
So, like-
I'll pull my phone
So
out.
like, I'm
Yeah.
assuming people are like, all right, I'm gonna buy it because some animals or some of your stuff isn't super expensive. It's
Right.
more,
Right, it
I
varies.
want this, here it is, and then some stuff is high end stuff. You know, the more exotic stuff probably costs
Yeah,
more.
it's
So-
hard to say for sure. And the benefit we have is that we do have with online a huge audience, or customer base, because you can then reach millions of people and be able to ship. Whereas some retail is just brick and mortar, and maybe you just have a certain amount of customers that come in. I would say the trends, not the trends, but the economy more is based on slightly overall economy, but time of year,
Okay.
where we see more of a predictable trend from the time of like taxes and summer and then holidays. Like that kind of stays more steady when that's when times of the year people are willing to buy almost regardless of the economy. It plays some factor and some role, but we'll see those same ups and downs from the times of the year more so than because even the economy is doing certain things, we kind of still see similar patterns with the year.
We have a pretty resilient customer, like I was
Yeah, I was
describing.
about to say, you guys are
Yeah.
have people that they want it, they get it most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Are you like retail though, or like most retail shops see a higher push fourth quarter, bigger fourth
Yeah.
quarter numbers? Like for us, it's not. Ours is like summertime is our hard push. for
which
our
is the opposite.
business.
Well, which I would say is the
Yeah.
opposite, where
You guys are fourth quarter.
when
retail.
like the times of the year when people are meant to to buy, spend money. It's like tax time, holidays. We see those upticks all the time. Summer and into the school year, it slows down a bit because people are back to school. Parents don't want to be spending money on animals for their kids who probably are getting into a routine who aren't going to take care of them because they have homework and this and that.
Yeah.
So those are the trends we've stayed with, and it's been pretty consistent over the years, I would say, to I guess, monitor that type of up and down as opposed to what's overall going on in the economy. But you see the numbers more than I do. So
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Tricky part about our business is inventory isn't always available.
Yeah.
So while there may be a trend intact that we'd like to participate in, we can't. We
Yeah.
can't get the supply.
yeah.
That makes sense because the supply isn't just make it.
Yeah,
It's not like some guys got everything you all ever want just at the drop of
It's
a
not
hat.
like a lizard factory, right?
Yeah, we're
or
just-
a snake factory.
and in some ways there kind of is, but even still,
But
still.
even that way, they still don't have all the stuff that you would potentially
Yeah.
need or want
Right.
at that time. So we've been in this 10 years and we're still learning a lot. There's
Yeah.
still so much stuff to not just learn, but strategize for. And you're still getting the hang of it. Almost every new decision you make is like starting over,
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah. In business
So,
in general. If
yeah. So it's like,
If
even
you're
though
not
it's-
continually learning, you're in trouble.
no, yeah, exactly. So even though we're 10 years in, there's times, even the past year, like, oh, we got to do this. We got to figure this out, and we got to shift our mindset because here's what's going to happen. And I think, and you will fail if you don't keep an open mind into always switching up, what you want to do, and giving up on certain things and pursuing other things and whatever it might be, because that's the way the economy works, the way social media works, and now with AI. It's like you just got to pay attention.
for sure you do.
You've got to pay attention because things will change quickly and you have to change with it in order to survive. If you're stuck in old ways or whatever it might be, I think you're kind of screwed. And I think we've done a pretty good job of always being like, what are we thinking? What do we want to do next? Or what could be the new, catapult into a different.
our store, the original store we opened up was in Lakewood, and then we had Lakewood and Brunswick. Now we have Parma. Our original store to what you see today looks nothing alike.
Right.
So you can see the evolution by way of our physical footprint.
Physical, right?
And then there's a lot of things behind the scenes, like Mike is describing, that we've had to change. And that we're also leveraging nearly 10 years of experience and data to help drive some of our decisions. And that's in consideration of the things that are changing
Yeah.
from a tech standpoint, AI.
Yeah, I agree.
We're trying to infuse what we can by way of leveraging certain technology
Yeah.
and, leaning into a lot of the data that we now have as a company that's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's tough.
Um,
Get in front of that stuff is tough. I mean, I'm old as heck, so I've been in mortgages forever. I've seen it from like handwritten 1003s to everybody gets one computer to everybody has their own computer and we all do this over the phone to now it's all done online then you get it from online to the phone and you call them to now it's starting to move towards like a lot of automation, a ton of it.
And luckily, I think we're a little bit buffered from AI with what we do.
I would agree.
Which is a nice thing to kind of know, because I feel like some areas of business in general are like, I don't know what AI is going to do to
It's going to do it a lot. to
X,
a lot
Y,
of
or Z.
businesses.
Yeah. So we do have that. But yeah, what worked for us 5 years ago may not work for us now, and vice versa. So just staying fluid that way is very important, especially in a niche business and the one that we're specifically in, because we've changed so many things over the years to better the business for sure. And some of it takes time to come to fruition and it's figured all out, but I don't know, it's ever changing.
Yeah, ours is.
know.
So now it's social media. You're not doing social media, you don't exist.
I know.
Like back then, there was no social media. Now, if you're not on social media, it doesn't even.
I know, and we've talked about that heavily over the past year as well.
Yeah.
To get so much more involved, and it's important. It's crazy, but it's important.
Yep.
You know?
You think about if you had those abilities to be on those shows now or have those shows now, that would boom your business.
I know. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should
That's so that you
reach back out to them. Hey, remember me?
Create your own show.
Hey, remember me?
Right? You guys
No,
can
but-
create your own show.
Mike is very humble in
Yeah.
respect to his experience.
Yeah, I
That's
can
why I
tell.
knew I had to squeeze a
Did
little bit
squeeze
more
it
out of him.
a little bit.
Sometimes I even forget some of the stuff. It's been so long. Like, I mean, I always remember it, but when you talk about where you're currently at, you're kind of focused on like, oh, the business. Here's what I do.
Yep.
And then he's like, hey, why don't you tell him about this? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I
did
did.
do that.
There's a chance I did do that.
I mean, it's deserved credibility
It is.
for
It really is. That's
for the
pretty cool
business.
stuff,
Yeah.
That's really cool stuff, and that again, that helps out with your business because they actually know they're getting a nationwide expert, not someone that's just some random person.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, credit to me, credit to him. No, with the business, he always gives me a lot of credit, but we'd be nowhere without his expertise as well, because obviously he came into this, he knew, don't let him fool you. He knows about reptiles. He did the same stuff as me. Then he transitioned into business stuff, which was needed for a business. So, I mean, he's obviously branched out into a lot of other awesome stuff, but this is a joint thing where just my abilities alone would have been nothing,
It would have been great for you. Because you got to tell you guys are a good team.
Yeah, so it's worked out, and like I said, we're still figuring things out and learning. But his involvement is still there. Don't let him fool you like he's not doing stuff. Or
I'm the numbers guy.
You're the numbers guy.
I'm the numbers guy.
You are the numbers guy.
he lets us know when we're doing bad. He lets us know when we're doing good.
Hey.
Hey, Mike, what the hell were you thinking with this purchase? I'm like, see you at the party this weekend. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that's the other, in respect to the nuance of our retail business, there's a real passion that fuels a lot of the ingredients of the company, including the inventory we gravitate towards buying.
Yep.
So that's Mike's interest. It's other employees who are enthusiasts. So sometimes we can't overextend into things that we really like.
Yep.
This animal is unreal. We got to bring it in.
Yep.
That may not be as
That's got to be the
connected.
hardest part, right?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
the
tricky.
animal you like the most, but it may not be the
Yeah,
animal.
and that's what we've learned
be cost
over the years
effective.
too. Of like, because it's cool doesn't mean someone wants it. Maybe you just want it, or
Yep.
whatever it might be. And again, that's the evolution of just learning, kind of what's important and what to really focus on, like what your mission is with that. And there's kind of a gray area there where like you still want to have your enthusiasm and passion by bringing some cool stuff in, but you don't want to go overboard by like, oh, you spent all this money on this and you just did it so you could look at it every day.
Yeah, right.
So there's
You got to find
There's a
yeah,
balance.
there's a fine line
There's a
there that you gotta kind of account for.
That's good stuff. Before we end, I always like to ask everybody about, what do you think AI is going to be, how it's going to change your business, or do you see it making any changes? We kind of just went over that.
Yeah, I think at a fundamental level or the foundation, I don't think it will hurt us at all. It could only help us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I think it can only benefit the business, whereas some other business be like I could be replaced, I could be pushed out that way. But I think AI can only help a business like ours specifically by our ability with social media and getting more content out and getting more professional content out and unique creativity. All that stuff is going to help us. So as of now, I don't see it being a downside at all. I think the problem is finding out how to utilize it best. Because I think everyone's trying to figure out like, oh, I can just ask Chat GPT like, what snake is cool? The basics. And you're like, oh, let's give me an answer. But to really dive in detail, AI can, I think, be a huge help and a huge benefit. But you got to how to use it as a really like a big tool, and not just kind of keep it the basic. Oh, make this post for me. You can just kind of take some more.
Yeah, it would help
steps.
optimize you guys on the websites,
Yeah.
optimize your search.
Yeah, and get all that information. It can collect data for
Get the
you that you
information
could,
for it too, yeah.
not be able to get or not know how to get. So I think in the end it'll help us once we figure out really how to optimize and utilize it to our benefit.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would help you guys.
You guys might be screwed. I don't know.
Oh,
No, I'm just
for
kidding.
sure.
I'm just
No
kidding.
question.
No, I mean,
question.
I'm just kidding.
There's absolutely no question.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, there is.
Because for the pet business, it's humans and our interaction and appreciation for animals.
Yep.
And that's AI is not going to take that away. But from a fundamental business standpoint, it's our openness and the fervor in which we invest time and money into understanding how we can leverage AI to enhance customer service,
Yep.
social media, any number of things. And some companies will be left behind in a different way. The animal interaction, that desire will still be there, but there's a real opportunity for companies who embrace it.
Yeah,
And leverage that part
and
of
that
their business.
face-to-face interaction in our business is key. It's important, and that's the one thing that can't be replaced by AI. For someone coming in the store and being like, "I want to talk to you about this animal.
Yep.
Tell me how to do it." Like you couldn't get that type of interaction from a machine or AI or whatever it might be. So that's where that aspect is always going to be relevant to our specific business. But I can only speak on that. I don't know.
I agree. I agree for that.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to come in and get an axolotl here
Yeah.
soon. As we get closer to Christmas, I will be on my way over. And
Yeah,
bring my daughter
definitely
and
worth checking out.
have her
for
come
sure.
check out an axolotl.
And even the other stuff, you'll see some pretty wild stuff.
I love it.
Hopefully in an enclosure. Maybe some stuff got out. Hard to
It's all
say.
right. I need to be bit at this point in my life. I need a little adversity.
Yeah, a
Getting
little
too
bit,
old and
little
too
bit of
lazy.
adrenaline pumping.
You're big on
Going away.
adversity.
I need a little bit. I need a little oh
Well,
my
we
God,
can-
he almost died from a snake bite.
Yeah, that's
Make
a
that
great
happen,
it's a great
right?
story for Christmas. Yeah, for the family. So we can make that happen.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you
coming
guys for having me on. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.